But wait, there's more. How could there possibly be more? This is the part of the story that I have been dying to tell. Mainly because it was not intentional. It wasn't not fully. Not to like get to this part of the end of everything. But, it is what it is. I took those words that my mother said to heart though. I'm 30 years old, so I should stop blaming her for all my problems. And I started to think, how can I stop blaming her for all of my fucking problems? Because I really did feel like it was her fault. And I always felt like she was always trying to stop me from getting anywhere. Because that's what she did. She put me in the position of continuously being dependent on her, and when I expressed any kind of independence at a young enough age to, need that obligated foundation building, she would come up with excuses and different ways to fucking stop me from getting it. And then, lo and behold, I keep ending up in these fucking places and coming right back. Because, the world isn't harsh enough. You have to, like, completely destroy your child in the process. So, I did take her words to heart. And so she left me to rot here. uh, and, visited every now and then. Dropping off the rest of my stuff at first, but then when I actually needed something, nothing. Because, I'm supposed to figure it out, which, I did. And as soon as I had it figured out, then she came back and, wanted to help. And I was like, it's pretty much too late, but you can do this. And so she did. Gone again. I was like, hey, just see. I already had it planned out, so it was no big deal. Hey, you gonna help with this? And again, it's your problem. You need to figure out your own life, because I got my own life and my own stuff, and I already got this, that, and another, whatever. So yeah, I was like, okay, whatever. So then my first sister gets in a pinch where now she's getting kicked out of wherever she is because some shit went down and it didn't end well. And now this is like, I want to say months later. Nothing from my mother. No, nothing. She's not responding to any of my messages. She's not responding to anything that I sent her. Months later, my sister's getting displaced, and I told my mother that I wasn't taking her in because, like, I'm not allowed to. That, like, I have a very strict lease, and I was adhering to it. And so then she's like, oh, well, I'll see how you handle blah 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 all by yourself or whatever. Just some fucking dumb shit. I got the text messages still. I could really just reread over it, but I don't feel like going over it. It's just like basically, okay, well, we'll see how you fare when you need help or whatever the case was. And some other shit. And I was like, I stopped being afraid of you guys. I stopped being afraid of you guys a long time ago, so you can do whatever the hell it is that you want, but I'm not scared. And this is how it is. I just don't have any more energy and any more life to give you guys. And I might have said something about, it's your turn to raise your own kids. If I didn't say it to her, I said it to my sister. Um, so yeah, that didn't go well. And it caused a miniature falling out with me and my sister. She was just like, yeah, I didn't have a place for a couple of days, but then I ended up back with mom and blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay, cool, at least you're safe. Um, and all that. was like helping my sister out with some stuff, so she was coming over here and all of that. And then eventually all of that stops. Nobody talks to me for months. And then she's getting into her place, and now she's like showing up at my door, and I'm just like, no, because I'm not taking visitors if you're not going to message me first. And I think that was actually before she moved in. But basically, I was just like, no, I'm not letting anyone in my house unless, you know, you call first. Or, like, send me a message and let me know that you're coming over. You don't just get to show up at my fucking house. And so, then I had that instance that I mentioned in a previous video where, you know, my mom ends up showing up and it was just like, it had that energy of, oh, she'll let me in, and, you know, that's what I thought, and she ended up spitting freaking fingernails all over my fucking kitchen, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I immediately swept and cleansed my house deeper than I had ever before after that, because I'm not taking any chances, because yes, my family does do magic, and I'm starting to wonder if they've always done magic the entire fucking time that I was a kid too. And we were supposed to be fucking Christian, because they knew that they had roots in like certain places. So yeah, made me wonder. And so yeah, the next time she comes, I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I have stuff that I'm working on that I don't want anyone to see, because I don't like when people are watching my works in progress. And so the next time she comes, I just bring the kids outside. And then she was just like, that's weird, you don't want anyone in your house? And she just kept saying how weird it was, and I was like, that's my fucking boundary. Why are you calling it weird? I just don't want anyone in my house because you did not call first. And I was putting my foot down there. So this was a gradual standing up for myself. And so then she doesn't contact me, doesn't message me for another few months. And like this time it's longer. Like, I think the last time I saw her at that point was in September. And then sometime this year, sometime this year after my birthday and after my firstborn's birthday, she shows up at my door, and I open the window instead, and I'm just like, they're taking a nap and I'm doing work. And she's just like, so it's been so long since I seen them. I was like, you can't come by after not talking to me for months. And she's like, you didn't have your messages on. Now mind you, the last two times that she showed up, I never expected to see her, because the message that she sent me back when I told her that I stopped being afraid of them, and I'm just like, I'm tired of resenting them. I said specifically, I am tired of being mad at you for everything that I went through, and you don't want to admit it, so I don't want to deal with it. And she was talking about how she could write a book on all my motherfucking mistakes. And I was like, you know what? Go ahead, write your book. You have every right to tell your story. And I read it wrong. I thought she said her own mistakes, but you know, she was gonna write a book on mine. So go ahead and write a book on mine now, because I'm telling all my motherfucking business. Anyways, so yeah, I never expected to see her after that text message. And I was still iffy about like going full no contact because of my children. And then I realized that was stupid. I'm just gonna do it. So yeah, she showed up at my door, and I was just like, yeah, they're asleep, because they were. And I was doing work. I do all my work when they are asleep, or otherwise occupied, because we have our like separate quiet time. I have a system, and you cannot disrupt the system, especially if you do not let me know ahead of time first. And so yeah, and then sometime after that, my sister did the same thing. And I said the same thing to her, and then she tried to demand a specific time to come over, and I told her no. And so, yeah.